My father was a cube wizard. My mother was a golem.
And with their genetics combined, I become Steve Minecraft. Speaking of video games.
Oh, yeah. So have you ever heard...
Sims.
No, I haven't heard.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm Alina.
I'm Peter, and I'm more lost than I was when we were doing Halo 3.
So have you ever heard about a little spin-off side game series to The Sims called MySims?
No, I haven't, person that didn't introduce themselves. Please explain.
I introduced myself, I was laughing at the same time.
I didn't hear it, but okay then.
Trust me, I did.
Just trust me, bro. Just trust me, bro. I totally did it, bro. Bro!
When have I ever intentionally lied to you?
Many.
Okay, a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. MySims is a... Now my throat's fucked up.
This sounds like a you problem.
Thanks.
And now we must postpone the podcast for
Now we
another
have
week.
to...
Sorry, guys.
Wait. This was my master plan the whole time.
My new master plan is to kill you. Violently.
Hooray!
By punching you to death.
Hooray!
And watching as
JoJo
the bone
reference.
bruises consume you.
That's a JoJo reference.
I've not watched that, but anyway.
Punching someone to death is a JoJo reference.
Okay. I'll believe you.
Punching someone has always been a JoJo. It's never not been a JoJo reference.
As we all know, punching was invented after someone watched JoJo.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly.
Anyway, explain to me what the fuck MySims is.
Yeah.
So MySims is a spin-off game series from The Sims, where essentially Nintendo licensed the rights to use Sims, and they just made much of their own stuff. The MySims, of course, is a very different approach than The Sims, where I'm pretty sure like most Sims games are rated T.
Mm-hmm.
I
think so. I mean, they have the woohoo, so I would assume.
They have
I
the
would
woohoo.
hope and pray.
The MySims is of course rated E for everyone, 10 and up for cartoon violence.
Yes, it is T for teens, so.
The MySims is a very different look, and it plays, of course, extremely differently. Whereas in The Sims, you tend to control like a whole family of people, right?
If you want.
Uh,
You can
if
also
you
be a
want.
complete and utter fucking loner and have no friends or life.
Sure, but you control a household,
Yes.
quote unquote.
That has...
If your household consists of just you and a lampshade, who am I to judge?
You, a lampshade, no doors, no windows, you're just sort of in a pillar.
Yeah, the
Gonna-
silo.
You're gonna die in like 2 weeks.
They have I think similar design principles. The first MySims games is just the first MySims game, and there's just MySims. I'm gonna be talking just about the Wii ones because they're the good one. I will talk very briefly about MySims Kingdoms because I think it's actually very similar to MySims.
That's the one I played and never finished and barely got through,
It was
actually.
pretty bad. So MySims, instead of controlling a household of people, you control one person who is moving into a town that has been bereft of its former glory because someone who's I think is referred to as like a creator or something. It's not a deity, but is kind of like a local deity.
It is me, the deity of this land, and by this land I mean this county specifically and no others.
This county specifically and no others. They left a
Bereft of
while.
a mayor.
They're not there anymore. There is specifically a mayor. Her name
No,
is Robin.
I mean like the mayor capital mayor.
Oh,
That's what the deity is.
capital mayor.
Capital Mayor.
And you have arrived, apparently possessing similar powers. And you're gonna revitalize the town. I say it's similar to The Sims in the sense of like it is house customization game basically.
Mm-hmm.
You are revitalizing the town by like deciding where certain houses go and what is in them, and they gotta match with the vibes of their occupants good enough that you make them happy. Unfortunately, in order to get 100%, you do need to kick some people out. In order to make room for more people to move in, because there's not enough slots in the game for everyone in the game to be in the town at once.
Jeez. I know how to make the town better. You're homeless, and you're homeless, and you're homeless.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is this is just Animal Crossing for conservatives.
I know how to improve this town.
Well, in early Animal Crossing, you couldn't do anything about like what your neighbors' homes looked like at all. That came with New Leaf, for the most part, and much more with I forget the name of the one on the Switch.
I thought you just died. I was like,
Yeah,
that was a tense silence.
We're leaving that in.
Okay.
I do say that
That's the one on the Switch.
I do say this having never played an Animal Crossing in my life.
I know.
I haven't either.
I have. That's why I can say this. With confidence, at least.
That's why I'm legally allowed to say this. If anyone else says it who hasn't played it, you're going to jail.
If anyone else who said it who hasn't played it, Nintendo arrives. And you don't want to know what happens after that.
What do you mean? I don't play Nintendo games, and therefore they can't sue me because I'm not a fan of theirs.
That's how that works.
They only kill people who actually like them.
Yeah.
For legal purposes, this is a joke.
So MySims is basically a town. But you're released to your one character instead of having like an omnipotent camera view.
What do you mean I can't be God?
MySims Kingdom from the Nintendo DS is kind of similar, except some. I did not go back over Nintendo DS for this video. I have a Nintendo DS. I'm always staring at it with desperate need. But not for MySims Kingdom. I think that game's pretty bad. I've not replayed it since I became an adult, so I don't really quite remember. At the start of MySims Kingdom, like a horrible disaster or whatever happens, and like all the essence is sucked out of everything, causing it to like vanish or get into disrepair or whatever, or something like that.
That's what I vaguely remember from that game.
This is an economic disaster.
Oh fuck, not the Great Depression.
Colorized 2007.
So you mean the housing market crash?
Oh no, not 2008.
Oh my god, MySims predicted the housing market crash.
For some reason, local mad scientist, some Einstein-looking guy hires you, some fucker, to go around and do. I think you're actually like a royal courier or something. I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh no, they're muted. Peter, what do we do?
I don't fucking know.
That's what MySims Kingdom is like.
Okay.
Don't worry about that. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened? Absolutely nothing.
I was consigned to the void for like 10 seconds. It's fine.
I see. Yeah, my
The game I
Sims,
really want. Sorry.
but that one's I played the one game. I'm gonna talk about the one game.
Yeah, the worst one?
Yes. Fuck you.
Go for it.
Okay, so I think the last time I played MySims Kingdom, I was like a fucking child. So I barely
That lines
remember.
up. I too was a child and we're
Yes.
similar ages.
Yes, I was a child. And what I remember is the following: sheer confusion, frustration at the lack of being able to progress, and tennis.
Oh god, I forgot about the tennis.
Yeah, so basically, I didn't know really what I was supposed to do. I don't know if I just didn't pay attention to what they told me to do, or
No,
if I
I
just
don't
forgot
remember the
after a
game
week.
direction very well at all.
Yeah,
I was very good when I was a kid at following the directions.
Yeah,
So I remember.
yeah, but like I didn't know what I was supposed to do for some reason, either my fault or the game's. I like, you know, I go over and they tell me like, oh, there's a way to get to other lands. There's a bridge, but it's down. You gotta get the bridge back. And I'm over here like, how do I get the bridge back? And they just kind of look at me like, oh.
You gotta get the bridge back.
You gotta get the bridge back. And I'm like, okay. And then I went over to this one lady's house and she was like, play tennis with me. Gonna play tennis with me? And I'm like, okay, I'll play tennis. And we played tennis, and then we played more 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 tennis, and then I stopped playing the game.
The thing about MySims Kingdoms is I think you have to do those mini games to progress. Because I think they get you essence, or they unlock you essence types.
See,
and you need to use those to like fix the bridge to get to the second area. I did manage to get to the second area. I did not get any further.
I did not. I gave up pretty quickly because I'm just like I'm just playing tennis. I don't know what to do.
I want to play tennis. I can play fucking Wii Sports.
You promised me a kingdom and you brought me tennis.
That's also the weird thing about MySims Kingdom. I don't think the kingdom part of it ever plays into anything. Like there is a king, I think, and like I said, I think you're like a royal mailman, basically. You're a courier of some kind, and on your like fucking mail delivery, you get roped into this shit. But other than that, I don't think like the kingdom part of MySims Kingdom ever matters. I wouldn't know. I only got to the second area, but
yeah, the first area definitely did not give me king vibes at all. Pretty sure there was a mayor in there. I don't remember king being. Maybe it was. I don't know, I was like 8. I don't fucking know. All I remember are general feelings and tennis. And then I went back to playing Halo like a good child.
yeah. And I went back to playing The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks like a good child. The game I really want to talk, the one that left the biggest impression on me. I did have MySims. I did play it a lot. It was fine. But the game I really liked was MySims Agents, which I got from one of my uncles for my birthday.
Nice.
And it's really good. Unlike, this is the thing I don't know about The Sims outside of like Sims 4 and sort of The Sims 3. I am pretty sure that none of the Sims games, to my knowledge, have like a cohesive storyline.
No. Not that I know of.
There's like, I think some of them have like a brief overview. Like I think there's like The Sims, not The Sims City, but like Sims like City Folk or something like that, or whatever. Where you move into a new area and it's like, well, now you've got to do things to fix up your little apartment, yada 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 yada. But it's still like there's not like a cohesive story being told.
No.
There's no narrative.
Yeah, I think the closest The Sims has gotten to narrative is in The Sims 4 when they were like, so we added a DLC where you just get to be a magician. You can do magic. You go in a hole in the mountain and you go on a magic adventure. And then you come back like everything's normal. Or the fucking Star Wars one they did. But it's that's about the closest they've gotten. The Sims, a story game, is not, unless you think of it as creating your own story about Jeff the Loser Man and his sad
Jeff
lamp.
the Loser Man and his sad lamp while he's stuck in the silo.
Yes.
So MySims Agents is, I think, very good. And it's also the second to last MySims game, because right after it is MySims Sky Heroes, which I think is the last one. There's only, like I said, there's only 4 of them. And I forgot, there are, I think, DS versions of the base MySims and also MySims Agents, but they're worse. So why would I think about them?
Let's see how many there are. That looks like... more than 4.
No, there's only 5 sequels unreleased for the video game MySims. MySims Kingdom. Oh, there's also MySims Party and MySims Racing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fully forgot about those. But yeah, no, it's just MySims, MySims Kingdom, MySims Party, MySims Racing, MySims Agents, and MySims Sky Heroes. So they only started to do like narrative stories at the end there, and I think they're the best ones.
Okay, but explain to me why they needed to make a racing game for a fucking landlord simulator.
Why did they have to make a racing game for Crash Bandicoot?
Because it was awesome!
Why did they have to make a racing game for Sonic? Who can just run?
Well, no, that would make sense. At least Sonic games are already about going fast.
Yeah, but like, why does he need a car?
The question is, why is he in a car? And as he says,
to commit vehicular manslaughter.
That's not why he said that. He didn't say that.
Those were two
he didn't say that. He didn't need to say that. I could see it in his eyes. He craves blood.
Okay. All right, then. What the fuck?
Gotta go fast. I seek your viscera.
You've just fucking Sonic EXE'd Sonic Racing. That's what you did right there. I hope you're proud of yourself.
The car car did a 180 and stared at me. I didn't think about it at the time.
Sonic drove backwards. His head rotated 180 degrees while the car smiled at me with sharp teeth. And Blood Eye. I didn't think anything about it at the time. I love you, shitty creepypastas, and I love you even more, really, really good creepypastas that changed my life, and made me afraid of playing Majora's Mask even more than I already was.
I remember when I discovered creepypastas, I didn't sleep for a week. Yay!
Yeah. What happened to me?
I was like 10.
I never discovered creepypastas until after the age where it no longer drew me in.
I actually still cannot listen to the Lavender Town theme without becoming unnaturally paranoid. And like actually having an active fear response,
Oh
like
my
something
God.
terrible is going to happen. So I've been psychologically affected in a major way.
I wouldn't really say a major way. I mean, how often do you play the Lavender Town theme?
Never, if I can fucking help it. But like some social medias have a thing where like we scroll past a video and it autoplays for like a moment before you scroll past it fully. And sometimes they're Pokemon related, and even more rarely they do have the Lavender Town theme
I
playing.
imagine you just hear like one note from it as
I
you're
do.
scrolling and
I
you
hear the first fucking note, and it's like how you can activate a bunch of people by playing the first note in the Black Parade, but for fear.
Yeah.
I've gotten past my Majora's Mask fear for the most part. Fear is a normal part of playing Majora's Mask because the game's weird and fucked up.
Yeah.
But watching the Ben Drowned creepypasta fucked me up.
That one was actually really good because it you know what? We should make this a podcast topic.
We should. I'm not gonna sleep that night though.
Fine.
I need to fucking stand up and turn my light on right now. I am a coward. We've been over this.
I know.
That's why
I know. Here, I'll put it in our topics if it's not already there. Anyway, it's MySims. We're talking about MySims. We somehow got on a different podcast topic.
The video that someone, I forget what their name was, made about the Ben Drowned, like because I think it was written first, and then the author made a video and like put it into the visual format, and that made it fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
So anyway, talking about MySims agents. Breathing. I'm fine. I'm okay.
I like breathing.
I don't actually. If I could still be alive without having to do any of the like necessary body functions, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Same.
man. Taking a hit off an inhaler after you've been suffocating for like a minute is great. Best feeling ever.
Well, you don't need to breathe. You don't need an inhaler, and therefore you don't suffocate.
I don't even have asthma. I've never had that feeling.
I have. It sucks.
Hey, looks like you should be on our side then. Team no lungs. MySims Agents is from 2009. I played it in my youth. It was really, really good. And it goes, well, something like this. We're going to do the classic YouTuber review here, where we just recap the plot and add nothing else.
You mean what we do in our podcast?
You bet your ass what we do in our podcast.
Maybe we shouldn't be Trope Troupe anymore. Maybe we should be Plot Recap Troupe.
Plotters.
Plot plotters. We just recap a plot and then the podcast ends.
I mean, sometimes we give our thoughts on it.
Yeah, we do.
Oh my god. You can think?
Sometimes. If the situation calls for it.
If the situation calls for it.
MySims Agents, I replayed a bit ago. I did not realize until I replayed it then how foundational it was for my continued existence. It apparently contributed to a pillar of my continued personhood, which is really intriguing. And it's fantastic, I think. I think it's a very, very good game. I do think if you play MySims Agents as an adult or as like a puzzle-savvy kid, you're going to encounter things that are frustrating because you will like jump ahead 2 points in the mystery. But the game won't accept your answer yet because in game you've not found the like other bit of evidence that you need right now.
Because you didn't show your work.
It is a similar source of frustration, actually. Yeah, but the game is like programmed and therefore can't change its response.
You didn't show your work on this math problem. It's 2 + 2. What is there to show?
So you have to write 2 + 2 over here.
You have to write 2 + 2 = 4 as your full answer, otherwise you get 0 credit. Actually, fuck it. You get negative credit.
You get negative credit.
You get negative credit for being a smartass.
You go back to your previous assignments and we take points off them. MySims Agents begins. It has a really interesting framing device, which is you have the character Buddy. Buddy was made in MySims. He is the bellhop to a hotel that has not had any guests in years. In MySims, the first game, and in this game, he kind of becomes your sidekick character. Both in MySims and he is literally your sidekick in MySims Agents. Where he is an aspiring comic guy. He wants to write and illustrate comics. And, and it begins with like an older Buddy sat in like a fancy building in front of a fireplace with like the fucking wealthy guy bathrobe on. Saying, all right, so yeah, I see you want to hear about how I became a world famous comic book illustrator, huh? Yeah, well, let's see, it all started when my friend and I went on a search for the Nightmare Crown. And then the game starts, and you get to customize your character. So that's how it begins. That's the framing device.
Yeah. Could you ever find the MacGuffin? That's how you get into comics. that's how you start comics. You don't learn to draw. You don't learn good framing. You just find the MacGuffin, and you win at everything.
Well, see, he needed a good real life story to base the comic book on. Because as we all know, all comic books are based on real life.
Batman is real.
Batman is real. Batman could be real.
He's honestly, that's the only one who could be real.
Only the like fucking mundane characters that happen to be extremely skilled could technically possibly be real.
Yeah.
Thin margin of actually existing, but
it's still unlikely, but it's a lot less unlikely than like Superman. It was just like this fucker just defies gravity and travels back in time. How does he do it? Kryptonian.
he feels like it.
He feels like it. What's his weakness? Feelings. And this green ass rock.
You gotta pelt him with jade.
Holy shit! Warframe reference.
You gotta throw him. You gotta throw emeralds at him.
Go throw emeralds at him.
Photo
MySims Agents begins in a pizza parlor. You are the neighborhood detective, and you go. You hear a cry for help outside. Sorry, a cry for help outside, and them quickly enters inside. It's Poppy, the neighborhood flower saleswoman. Her dog has been Poppy.
Poppy is in the flower because she runs the flower.
Yes, it's in the flower. Yes. She has a sister. Guess what her sister's name is?
Tulip.
No.
Sunflower.
Violet.
No. What'd you say, Peter? What?
I said Violet.
Oh, you're correct, actually.
You mean it's not chrysanthemum?
No, but if you name like a flower-based character Chris, and their full name is Chrysanthemum, I think you win points with just me.
I'll keep that in mind.
You can do a similar naming scheme with other flower names that don't make good people names.
My name's Tulip, but you can call me Tool for sure.
Reportedly by her dog has been stolen by some like weird freaky looking guy in a red suit. And like, all right, well, let's deal with this. I didn't know you had a dog, Poppy. Go outside, and what you see is this comically evil bastard. His name, Morcubus.
Morcubus. Fucking. Poppy's sister could have been named Chrysanthemum then. Goddamn.
Morcubus.
His name is the only one like that. Everyone else tends to have like much more normal person names.
My favorite part of MySims Agents is when Morcubus said it's Morcubus time, and then Morcubus all over the place.
Morcubus said it's Morkin time, and he morked all over the place. And he morked all over the Nightmare Crown.
No, fuck it.
You know what makes...
This is Violet's new name.
Golem. And oh god, what have you done to my eyes? Hold, no, I have to do it. It's funnier. Ornithogolum ad septentrionesvergentulum. Hope I didn't jumble any of those up.
Ad septentrionesvergentulum.
I hate that you can just do that. I can't.
I don't have dyslexia.
This is. I have to look at it like in sections.
Yeah, ad septentrionesvergentulum.
And
Ad time.
See, I can't do. See. Okay, let me try to do it all in one. Ad septentra. What? See,
you were getting there.
For anybody confused as to what the fuck is happening, Peter put in a word, and it's a long word.
Yeah, it's the longest flower name that I could find.
That, yeah. Ad septentrionesvergentulum. That's as fast as I can do that, unless I repeat it 50 times, which I won't.
Ad septentrionesvergentulum.
And
See, the problem is that this is a really funny bit to you as well. And what makes it hard, laughing makes it harder to read.
I'm not helping me.
Yeah, I'm not helping myself.
I'm just observing.
You started this.
Yeah, now I get to watch you guys finish.
Oh,
I never said I was a constructive influence on this podcast. Hired me on anyway.
So more Cupid. We can come back to this as long as Peter doesn't delete his fucking Discord message.
okay. Don't do it.
The Morcubus. What makes this funnier? Morcubus is the CEO of the biggest corporation in the nation. Morcube Corp.
Morcube Corp.
And he is spending his random Sunday evening stealing a little girl's dog.
It is me, the CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company. You give me a dog.
What?
Give me a dog.
So what? The mystery is trying to figure out who the dog's real owner is. Of course, Morcubus insists several inane things about the dog, such as its name is I forget what he calls it.
Morcubus Jr.
Morcubus Jr. No, he calls it like Killfang Blood Death or something.
Damn, not you.
Maria.
This dog. I've seen it somewhere before.
Yeah, and insists that his favorite food is bones. When, in actuality, and he does claim that he didn't steal the dog, and that is technically true, the dog did just wander over to him and is sticking around his general area, because it's trying to get at the dumpster of the pizza joint that's right behind him. It just has some food waste in it.
Oh, hello, little doggy. I want the pizza. Do you like me? I want the pizza. You want to come home with me? I just want the pizza. Get out of the way.
Yeah, you talk. You figure out that little mystery, and the next day, if I recall correctly, or it's right after that, it's literally the same day that this happens. You get put in contact with the guy who's in charge of like looking for new members of the Sim Protection Agency. I would call this like the FBI, but it doesn't seem to have any government oversight at all. It's just an independent organization.
Sim Protection Agency. Spa.
Yeah, the spa.
The spa.
Yeah. This is a kid's game.
I know, it's the spa.
So he offers you a position as an official agent of the spa. He has to watch you do things a little bit and file some paperwork, but he's pretty sure you'll get through. After all, not many people would just stand up to Morcubus like that, and you're looking at him like, who? Never heard of him.
I was just figuring out the dog.
Figuring out the dog.
I just wanted some pizza.
Gino did give me free pizza for it. But you go to the next day. The next day you have a few more mysteries afoot. One lady in town who runs a hair salon, she believes that she is a secret admirer of some kind. Someone left some flowers on her doorstep, but with no visible person leaving them there. You investigate a few of the people in town.
Gay.
They were bought from Poppy. You do have to talk to Poppy to figure out who possibly bought the flowers. Only 3 people bought those flowers previously. Recently at least. Which gives 3 possible suitors for the hairstylist. And you go around, you talk with each of them, and end up realizing that it's Mayor Skip, who has a crush on Shirley, the hairstylist.
Shit.
And as you're like, listen, you're doing like a bunch of illegal shit to figure this out, by the way.
How did you get my address? Don't think about it.
You, like, eavesdrop on Skip to figure out the code to his safe, where he's keeping the receipts of the flowers. And you have to hack into his computer at one point, for some reason, where you find out that he's been, like, colluding with Morky Corp in order to, like, get money. He's been embezzling funds from the city.
But that's not the priority right now.
But that's not the
Someone's
priority.
in love!
You go back to Shirley, and it's like, well, it turns out it's Skip, but he's deep in the pockets of Morky Corp, and he's been embezzling funds from the city the entire time. She's like, oh, I love a man with money.
Are you telling me that he has an infinite stream of cash? I'm in.
The next mystery that you have to solve is that Gino is complaining about some maps of his that have been stolen. Gino's the pizza guy. He runs the pizza place. He's complaining about some maps of his that have been stolen, and he has no idea where they've gone. See, there was a brief fire in the restaurant, and he's worried that they got burned, but there's evidence that someone rifled through his safe in order to get access to the maps. What are the maps? They're the maps where he sources his secret pizza ingredients from, you see. As you go through the city, you find a trail of maps, and they lead out into the woods. And it seems like the individual is only interested in one map and not several other maps. This guy is Derek, the town asshole.
His professional job.
Literally, his professional job is hired thug. It very quickly when it comes to light when you're talking to him that he's also working with a Morky Corp for some reason. But really just money. You put this together by getting on top of the roof of Gino's restaurant and finding that like one of the exhaust things for the furnace was clogged with Derek's favorite baseball. And you go back down to Derek and you show it to him, and it's like, hey, did you lose your baseball recently? And he's like, oh, wow, yeah, it's my favorite baseball, actually. I could have sworn I plugged it into the top of, nothing.
You did what? You want to run that by me again, buddy?
You get, like, the drop-off point for the maps out from him. And you do find a letter from Morky Corp in the same drop-off point that he left a map to the mountains in. And it's like... I forget what it reads, but it's basically like, Derek, thanks for doing evil for me. M.
Derek, thank you for doing the most incriminating, horrific, illegal bullshit I've told you to do in my entire existence. M is definitely not the CEO, not him, not that M.
Definitely not the CEO of Morky Corp. Morcubus in like illustrious cursive.
Couldn't be that guy. I am not handsome.
He's a really cool guy, though. You should
really...
try to be more like him.
People get all weird about the fact that his hair is styled like devil horns.
I think it's edgy and sick as fuck.
My dog, Killfang Death Murder, agrees with me.
There's just like a paw print next to that one.
Yeah, but it's drawn on because he doesn't have a dog. After this, you do get formally recruited into the spa agency. That's redundant. That's like saying fucking ATM machine. You get your own base of operations as well as the ability to hire people as your like sub agents. Um, it's cool. You can bring NPCs from the game into your agency. They're typically people that have been associated with a case previously. Um, they'll do like essentially freelance agent work for you, um, and you can the important thing here is that completing you can send them on side missions, and they'll like when they finish a side mission and come back from it, they'll have like if you succeeded, bring back collectibles, and if you fail, it'll be put back into the rotation. Uh, the mission will. So like there's no permanently missable stuff in there. Um, Completing every single side mission is actually important for getting the game's final like ending. Which is a good thing that you can complete them after you finish like the main plot arc of the game. There's like a brief post game thing.
Nice.
The you go to the mountains, and you go up to the mountains in order to figure out what they're looking for in the mountains. Fuck. Sorry, I forgot something really important. I forgot the actual main crux of the game.
Yeah, I was like, mountains?
Yeah, well, okay, because the map that Derek gave to Morcu Corp is a map to the mountains.
Okay.
You don't know why Morcu Corp is interested in the mountains, but in between these cases, you do another case for a woman named Evelyn. Her house was broken into, and it seems like almost nothing was stolen except for her dad's old research papers. And so you go in there, and you find out that yeah, it sure was also. I think it was also Derek that broke in there and took a bunch of her stuff. And
You find another note that's like, Derek! You've done it again, you motherfucker!
Derek, thank you for being such a reliable thief and scoundrel.
And stealing from this specific address right here that I've written below this sentence.
444 Sim City Sim Road.
Owned by none other than this specific woman.
Evelyn, last name.
And thank you for doing it at the specific time between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. And when the police come and they check for fingerprints and they find some fingerprints that aren't yours, we'll both know that you planted them there.
Parentheses, Morcubus.
But like not though.
Like not really. Haha, JK.
Unless.
You'll figure out that they stole her dad's notebook as well, and this put together with the thing in the mountains makes you realize that like, oh, they're doing stuff with her dad's research into something as well as in the mountains, and they're looking for a guy, it seems, because she remembers someone and mountains being mentioned a lot in her dad's journal about a guy with the initials PW, and that's where you go into the mountain. What?
Periwinkle.
Periwinkle. Oh, yeah. PW stands for Pennyworth. It's Alfred.
Batman is real.
Batman is real in MySims, parentheses not clickbait, parentheses gone violent.
God, violent.
So you go to the mountains and you very quickly run into a few issues. One being, there's no like immediate PW here. There's a ski lodge, and there's a few people at the ski lodge, and there's, well, unfortunately, there's problems at the ski lodge.
Of course there are, and I must solve them all.
And I must solve them
I'm
as
a parent.
a detective.
Because apparently I'm the only person who's a part of SPA.
In this region, you are the only person who's a part of a spa, but you're not the only detective in the world, because you find two other agents here. Just normal agents. They're not special agents like yourself.
I'm special.
They're investigating. I forget exactly why they're investigating. Because there's not been property destruction yet. I think maybe they are investigating vandalism. I don't recall. But you also meet a rich guy and his kind of ditzy girlfriend. Even though he's a complete and utter asshole, she does still love him.
He's an asshole to everyone else. Tried it on her once and she was just so ditzy, and he was like, I this doesn't work on you.
It's like being mean to a dog. I firmly believe that guy actually would believe that about his girlfriend. He's a dick.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Oh my goodness.
You spend like a whole day investigating and like exploring the mountain and like trying to figure some shit out. And you do find a whole ass Yeti. And this Yeti is a
I knew it was Bigfoot, but full of snow.
Yeah. This Yeti is apparently the PW that you're looking for. He recalls working with Evelyn's dad and like some accident happening in the lab, but his memory gets really foggy, and then he woke up in a cave. And he's just never left. He just kind of been chilling the whole time.
Snow cone?
No pun intended.
Snow cone?
What?
Snow cone?
Huh?
Snow cone.
Snow cone?
Snow cone.
There is a snow cone machine in the cabin.
Yes. Reference.
And he's like, yeah, I'll come down by the cabin tomorrow morning, and I'll like talk things out to everyone. I'll show them that like I'm not the guy that like. Oh, I remembered what those agents are investigating. Her boyfriend has disappeared.
Oh.
In that moment, her boyfriend has vanished. He shows up on day 2, while you're in the mountain. But he's vanished for day 1. And the agents are there looking for him. And you're also looking for him, but you're also looking for this other PW guy. They both have the same initials. The rich guy's name is Preston, and the Yeti's name is Paul. He wasn't always a Yeti.
Paul the Yeti.
Yeah, I feel like naming your kid Paul in this day and age is just...
Hey, they named him Paul in 2009.
As long as they'll make it the last name, it should be okay.
Yeah. It is his first name. I forget what his last name is. I think it is a very like Polish last name though.
Worcestershire.
That's not a Polish last name.
I know.
Paul Kaczynski.
Paul Waluigi.
Wouldn't that make him Paul?
You know, that was funny, which makes it true.
I love this rule.
So when Paul makes his way down to the mountain in the morning, he's immediately arrested. Initially because they think he still is the one who kidnapped Preston, even though he didn't do that. But also because now they think he's the one who did vandalism to the lodge in the middle of the night.
Why do they think that?
Because it looks like a Yeti broke the fucking hot tub.
Is that?
And there's Yeti fur found clogged in the hot tub's drain. I'm not kidding.
Listen, You didn't mention a hot tub before, so
Oh, sorry.
I'm
There
over
is a
here
hot
like
tub.
I'm over here like, why did they think it's the Yeti? And then out of nowhere, you're like, cause it looks like a Yeti broke the hot tub, and I'm like, what does that have to do with the vandalism? That's property damage.
I mean, he also like vandalized like the fucking ski racks, or so they claim.
I know, it's just without context, it's just like, what? Hot tub? Anyway.
You do some more investigating along the way, and you figure out that Preston here is trying to cause enough of a scandal at the ski lodge in order to get it to sell the land to him, because he owns a water bottle company, and he wants the like natural spring that's nearby, that's on the land of the ski lodge, in order to put it into water bottles.
Bottle. Got a bottle of water. Got a
And it was
water
Preston,
bottle
dressed in
of
a Yeti costume, who broke the hot tub and like the ski racks and shit in the middle of the night. And he had disappeared the previous day to like start trying to put the plan into motion by like being he needed to prepare himself for the act of vandalism, so he like hid away in an abandoned shack with the Yeti costume, and
In
then
the
he came out
dead
in the
of
middle of the
night.
night.
Yeah.
And he wanted to claim that Paul had kidnapped him, and that Paul had broken all this shit in a fit of rage in order to try and like fuck up the reputation of the ski lodge so that it sells to him and he can make water bottles. It would increase the profit margin by 0.1%.
Wow. I just see now I'm just thinking of this in like you know, kind of like a world where there is no Yeti, and
People fully don't believe there to be a Yeti at first.
Oh.
Until Paul like literally physically shows up the second day. So but they all adjust to the fact that Yetis are real very fast.
I'm just like, oh, okay, anyway, you're under arrest. Does the Yeti fit in our constitution? Put him in the cuffs. Don't worry about it.
The Yeti have rights under the law, because if he doesn't, then we can just leave with him.
We kill him.
Whoa. Kidnapping and property damage are serious crimes, but like the death penalty.
He doesn't have rights. Who said anything about the death penalty? Just shoot him on sight.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Takes out a photorealistic gun.
Shoots the screen, crashes the game.
Crashes the game. There's a hole left in your television.
The game's like, we're calling the police on you because you killed a man.
Paul tells you a few things. He tells you about his work, both his work and Evelyn's dad work on the Nightmare Crown for Morgue Corp previously to try and create it in the first place. And they really regretted the thing that they had made because they realized it's like obscene, destructive power. And so they're like, well, we gotta destroy this fucking thing.
Gotta blow it up.
Before they could destroy it, it did like do like a psychic blast a little bit.
Psychic attack!
And it turned Paul into a Yeti from a human man.
I'd ask how, but I know it's not explained, and I know nobody fucking knows the answer.
Well, the Nightmare Crown leeches off like your mind, and you can basically do anything It can like bend and warp reality however much it wants.
It
Um,
is.
Welcome back, Adventure Time.
It is I, the Nightmare Crown, and I know your darkest desires. Turns into a Yeti. What?
What? Also gives you memory loss.
Ah.
And it's like, well, okay. Well, now we know all this stuff, but like, where do we go next? What can we possibly do next? And it's like, I know a guy who also worked there. There were three of us. There was Evelyn's dad, there was me, and there's this other guy. So, but like, if you can find that other guy, you're set.
You
Like, great,
win the
okay,
video game.
We'll start looking for like mad scientists, I guess. And it's like I've heard reports of a mad scientist living out in the fucking junkyard. He lives in this ominous building up on the hill. His name is Dr. F.
Dr. F. What does the F stand for?
F.
F.
I think it's actually I forget. I was gonna say it's like Figawatts or something because he's a Back to the Future reference, a walking Back to the Future reference. But I don't know.
Fair.
So you get to the junkyard. You start exploring places. You're figuring stuff out. You find a weird. You find a little place that's being manned by two Morq Corp employees. And they're planting trees. It's like, oh yeah, welcome to Morq Corp's Make the City Green initiative. We're going to make the city greener by planting trees around it. It's like, well, that seems nice, but it's Morq Corp.
And removing the blood from all of humanity.
What?
If we put it in the trees, it will feed them.
And make the world less red, therefore making it more green.
I'll be honest, I forget most of what happens in the junkyard chapter. So, in very loose order, what happens is, you investigate a dispute between two guys who both work / live in the junkyard. About like one of them stealing parts from the other's boat that yes does just sit in the junkyard all day. You quickly find out that the one who stole parts from the boat wasn't the other guy, but was a robot. The robot's name? Tobor.
Tobor.
Tobor hates people, does not like most humans, but...
Is that you?
Well, he tolerates them.
Oh, okay.
And he works with Dr. F. So you go up the hill to Dr. F. And Dr. F is like, yes! I'm crazy!
I'm crazy?
Yeah,
I was crazy
on the nightmare crown.
They put me in a crown, a nightmare crown.
And the nightmare crown.
It made me crazy. Crazy? Oh my god.
I forget what Dr. F wants from you. But he wants something in return for the information that he has. And you do that thing. And along the way, while you're here, you do get to help the local DJ figure some stuff out. You find out. What is it exactly? God. There is a thing in the sewers. That has to do with you find that there's an old mining operation under this part of the town that you can access through the sewers. Yeah, where they're getting a certain crystal, but there's none of that crystal left, and they're trying to like engineer a fake version of the crystal to use the crystal in the nightmare crown. You got to put the crystal in the nightmare crown to get it to work correctly. The crystal is like the power source, and the Nightmare Crown is the conduit.
Mm.
And the mine has been dried up of all those crystals, or at least of all the crystals that were pure enough to possibly use in the Nightmare Crown. So they can't get any from down there. The loud reverberations from the pickaxing going off in the place down there was fucking up the DJ's set. And there was one thing nearby. I think the trees weren't actually trees that the Morgan Corp was planting. They were like listening devices or something. Like, okay, no, to be clear, when they said they were part of the Morky Corp's like Make the City Green initiative, but they just had like a pile of saplings nearby, and they weren't really planting anything. They were just kind of standing around. So like, it's like I forget where that plot goes if it goes anywhere during this mission, but you come back from that one. And it's like, great, so we know about the crown. We know that it needs this crystal. It needs to be a certain purity to work. Who has a crystal of this degree of purity? And it's like, well, see, there's this guy who funded a part of the research project on the Nightmare Crown. He actually has a crystal, and it's used to like divine potential futures. Literally, it can actually do that.
Oh.
Don't question it.
Okay.
And it's like, great, okay. And he did die recently, so like maybe the crystal's being given away in his will, but you need an invitation in order to go there. Fuck. Do we know anyone who's rich? And it's like, oh well, I mean, Poppy's family's, I think, connected to that guy's family. I don't know if they're rich, but
the Yeti man.
or rather, it's like, no, that's not how it works. It's like, oh well, it seems like. Or yeah, no, they get a list off the people who are invited. I don't know if they get it from the internet somehow, or if they just have it. And it's like, well, hey, there's a Violet on here. Doesn't Poppy have a sister named Violet? And isn't this her last name? Let's go talk to Poppy and see if she got an invitation. And you do, and Poppy does have an invitation, and so. You convince her to give you the invitation. She agrees, but apparently most of her mail has been stolen recently. Yes, it's been stolen by Derek.
Derek, that's a felony.
Derek has scattered most of Poppy's mail around the place. I think he was looking for the invitation initially, but then like realized he actually doesn't need it. So just kind of left it places.
Still a felony.
Yeah, it sure is. You get Poppy's invitation, and she lets you use it to get access to this guy's funeral, where of course things go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Before the will is read, like his niece wants to hold like divine readings, like to divine a reading for each of the people who were present, using the crystal one-on-one. But when she goes into the room, the crystal has been shattered. Oh no!
Oh no!
And it's like, oh well, shit. I mean, I guess that's good for us because we don't want Morky Corp using it. But now we got to figure out who the fuck broke the crystal. Hooray!
Hooray!
You interrogate a bunch of people. There's a few different twists and turns going around here. You find out that it was the zombie butler.
Oh, what?
So he wasn't always a zombie, but he was turned into a very zombie-like thing by the Nightmare Crowd originally.
Oh my god.
His name is Carl.
This game is literally just like, we made a spy game. Magic.
And to think, this used to be the fucking Sims.
It's not really like a spy game as much as it's like a mystery game.
Okay.
It's a detectiving game. You say spy game, and I think like James Bond as a video game,
Which there were several.
Yes.
which there were and are several.
Yes.
It's a mystery.
I'm pretty
puzzle.
sure I'm pretty sure. GoldenEye.
GoldenEye? Yeah, that's from like a long time ago.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's still. 1997, and all two people hearing this had a visceral reaction.
Yeah, it's a shame that everyone else born in 1997 is fucking dead. Can't believe there's only 2 survivors from 1997.
Can't believe it.
Found out it was Carl, the zombie baller. The zomballer, as one may call him. But you keep talking to Carl, and he seems like he would never do something like that. Like he's genuinely horrified that all the evidence points to him, and not like horrified like oh fuck I've been caught, but horrified like holy shit how could I ever do something like that?
Careful.
And so you find him where he flees to. You talk to him, and you find out that he's been hearing voices in the middle of the night that keep trying to like tell him to do things, and they worm into his thoughts and they shape his dreams. You do a little bit more snooping around, and you find out that the person who technically actually breaks the crystal is the dead guy's niece, Zoe, because she like hypnotic suggestioned Carl into breaking the fake crystal because the crystal wasn't real. The crystal that broke wasn't real. She has the real crystal on her and was going to sell it to Morcucorp. Why? Because she wasn't in the will. She had read the will earlier, found out that she wasn't in the will and that everything was going to fucking Carl. Got mad and then made a plan to get a bunch of money by selling the crystal and also taking the will from Carl by putting him in jail.
Oh my god.
It all comes back to Morcubus, you see.
Oh, back to Morcubus.
And the motive of making money.
Money.
We love money.
I like money.
It's like, okay, great. We've got the real crystal. Now we just got to figure out where the crown is. And Evelyn's like, well, that's great, because I've been getting to a point in my dad's journal where he's talking about an island of some kind. And it's like, okay, so could it be there? And it's like, okay, yeah, but we still don't know where the island is. And it's like, okay, but we know it's off the coast somewhere. To the beach!
To the beach episode!
Actually, before each mission, you unlock a new outfit that is like thematically appropriate for the mission. So you do unlock swimwear before you go to the beach. In a similar sense that you unlock a fancy outfit before you go to the will reading. And like a parka before you go to the mountain.
Nice.
You show up at the beach, and it's like, okay, so there was, a long time ago, a shipwreck, and that ship seems to have been pursuing Evelyn's dad to wherever the hell he went with the rest of the Nightmare Crown, because like she's deciphering the journal the entire time, because it's her dad was a doctor, so it's written in like the most hard to understand script ever.
I can't read it. The language, I don't understand. Let me take a look at it. My god, it's in Doctor.
It's in Doctor. Could we get Dr. F to read it? No, he just makes shit up.
Everyone knows doctor's not a real script. They just scribble on a piece of paper and then give you the actual diagnosis completely separate from it.
That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good translation, Dr. F. Why don't you back it up with a source? My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Speaking of Dr. F is at the beach.
Yeah.
You do a bunch of like weird little things at the beach where you try to figure out what is going on. You're like, okay, so there's all these weird things going on at the beach. I guess I might just look into each of them because a bunch of other random shit's been connected to the overall mystery. So like, hey, who knows, right? And you do a weird thing. You meet a giant octopus. It likes tea parties.
I don't
actually is
understand this
important.
world.
Because you speak to the giant octopus. Yeah, if you do, I mean. You speak to the giant octopus. Octopus? Morcupus.
Morcupus. It's back to them.
You speak to the giant octopus, who you can understand somehow. And actually, no, you don't understand it. The girl who introduces you to the giant octopus can understand what it says. And it tells you about like a submarine that's been disturbing its sleep a bunch. And so you find out that Morcupus, Morcucorp rather, not Morcupus himself, he never does any of the work himself. It's because I'm too wealthy.
I have to play golf.
I have to play golf in my giant submarine.
I'm having fun playing golf. He's just staring at the golf ball on the floor.
Really bored. When can my quest for world domination resume? I mean my environmental initiatives.
I want to plant trees, and by that I mean I want my employees to plant trees for me.
And by that I mean I want to stow listening devices across the city.
I mean make the world greener.
There's been a Morcucorp submarine going around where the giant octopus lives. And so you go up to Dr. F, and it's like, hey, I can't pilot a submarine to save my life. But you have a robot. His name, it's Robot backwards. Can you lend us your robot? And Tobor's like, I have personhood. Okay, great. Tobor, can we use you to go to the bottom of the ocean? And access the shipwreck?
Are you ocean worthy, or will you become the tin can and be like a, you know, like a.
Oh, see, I can withstand oceanic depths. I'm just afraid of water. I am fully waterproof. I'm just afraid of the ocean. And it's like, great.
Well, it's time for some exposure therapy. Get the fucking.
It's worse.
Oh no.
You mind hack Tobor because he is a robot, and you remove the fear of the ocean from him. What is it replaced with? I don't remember. I think it's something dumb like a fear of donuts.
Urge to kill.
Urge to kill. No, actually, I think it's replaced with a fear of an intense phobia of bunnies.
No, not the bunnies.
You send Tobor to intense oceanic depths, you navigate the shipwreck, and you find the destination of where that ship was headed to. An island in the middle of buck-ass nowhere, in the ocean somewhere. That's like, awesome. Let's go there. So we gotta find the rest of the Nightmare Crown. To destroy it, maybe? To hide it? I don't know. Because it's like, at this point of the gem, and we could just break the gem. Couldn't no one ever use the Nightmare Crown again?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a game for babies. You're not supposed to think that much about it.
Little baby game. Little baby game.
I think this is a very good like mystery game for kids. I think it has like enough depth to it that
Mhm.
like a kid will be entertained, and I think it still has enough depth to it as an adult where it's still like entertaining. Like it's still enjoyable. It's not like absolute dog shit. Like I think kids deserve good media, and I think this is a good mystery game that will tease their brains a little.
This is a good media.
Uh,
I'm assuming, based on what you're saying.
Thank you.
I
You
haven't.
sound very convinced.
I haven't played it, so I don't know for myself. I'm
I
just
assure
going
you
off of
most
what
of the
you.
like big plot leaps I'm making make more sense in game. What I'm
Okay.
skipping is basically like
Love
3 whole minutes of dialogue where you like talk to various NPCs and they tell you things and you have to put all those clues together. How the fuck else do you talk about a game where so much of it is talking? Like
Yeah. It's fair.
or like because like the bulk of the game is figuring the mystery out, and I don't know how to do like a plot summary of a mystery game that doesn't involve just
Telling you
that
what the
also
mystery is.
yeah that like I can't keep the mystery intact the whole way and explain what happens in it.
You should do it anyway.
Just to show them.
Great. Okay. Allow my eyes to become portals to the world of MySims agents. Get in. I think the music's really good. It just made me think of the music in the character creation screen. You take your oh yeah, you have a jet. You have like a fancy sky jet. It's cool as hell, and it takes you to the island. You go to the island with it. You find a lady there. She's just a random explorer. Literally has nothing to do with anything other than she likes exploring. She just happens to be there. I'm not kidding. She just shows up.
I am here now.
Sorry, no, I'm wrong. It looks like she just shows up at first, but then like she's your guide. You hire her as your guide. And she's just like a character. She's just not referred to as your guide until you're already there. So like when you first get there and she walks up to you, the player is kind of like, "What the fuck? Who are you? How did you get here first?" But then your avatar is like, "Oh yeah, the guide that we hired," and it's like, "Oh okay." I hold on to that initial feeling because it was much more extreme than, "Oh, it's our guide." The reaction always is, "Who the fuck are you?"
grabs her by the shoulders. Who the fuck are you?
Excuse me.
What the fuck are you doing in my county?
You find an ancient temple. You got to do a bunch of little puzzles. They're pretty fun, I think. They're pretty good. There is like some like little platforming sections in this game. You do have a run and a jump button. So like then not only are there like the usual puzzle sort of things, there's also like little platforming challenges. They're fine. You kind of have a problem with like telling depth exactly, but it's okay. It's not like the worst ever. You go through the entire island. You do a variety of challenges. You solve a little riddle. You meet a guy who's obsessed with money. You bribe him to give you a key. And you enter the temple, the main temple on the island, thinking maybe the fucking Nightmare Crown, like, crown part is in there. It sure doesn't seem to be initially. There is, however, a fucking crazy guy. And this crazy guy immediately is like, "Huh, I get it. You're all delusions of my mind. Well, don't you worry, delusion A. I'm gonna run away so that you can't catch me, because no one should ever touch the Nightmare Crown again." And then he runs deeper into the temple, and you gotta follow his ass. You do a variety of different puzzles on the way through. You do one platforming challenge. You get to the end where you give him 2 coconuts and convince him they're his friends, and therefore you're also his friend. And he just gives you he just reveals, well, he's gonna say just gives you the nightmare crown. No, he goes back to the main room. The nightmare crown was just under a rock in the main room the whole time, and he gives it to you, and it's like, awesome, great. Now let's leave with these things and put them where no one will ever find them. Like a fucking lava pit or something. Jesus Christ.
We should put them in hell.
And then you go outside, and Morcubus is there with his goons.
I've decided suddenly to do a hands-on approach. Gimme.
Yes, because I want the nightmare crown. Now hand it over. I said hand it over.
Hand it, or I could beat you to death with a golf club.
You end up handing him
Shit,
the
I'm
nightmare.
convinced.
You do give him the nightmare crown because, like, he's threatening and scary, I guess.
Oh no! But what if I broke his kneecaps, though?
But as he goes to, like, put it on and usher in an age of darkness or what some shit, Evelyn, like, full-ass body tackles him, which interrupts the crown's activation phase, causing both of them to be sent into the nightmare realm.
Oh no.
So they're in there now. Evelyn's gone. Oh, also that crazy guy? That was Evelyn's dad.
Oh.
He's been here the whole time.
He's been here. He's just vibing over here.
In his mind, he's like, yes, I'll stay here to guard the nightmare crown. And then he quickly went insane. So Evelyn gets locked in the nightmare realm. So does Morcubus. But if you finish all of the side missions, then you mount a rescue to get Evelyn out of the nightmare realm. You find a way in, you get her out, you also get Morcubus out because I guess you're like a nice person or whatever.
He has to go through the
revenge.
label process.
Yeah. He swears revenge and runs away. And Evelyn's like, hey, thanks. That's it's great to be in the mortal world again. I'm gonna go like live a normal life. I'm done with all the secret agent shit. This stuff's upsetting.
Until the sequel. That didn't happen.
There's not a sequel.
But if it did,
there was gonna be a sequel. So it makes it worse.
Oh.
Is that why you're gonna kill EA with your bare
hands? That's why I'm gonna kill EA. That's why this thing in our fucking thing is titled "I'm gonna fucking kill you, EA." Not just for all the things you do today, but for the things you've done to me personally in my past.
For legal reasons, this is a joke.
No, we will fight the corporation.
I can't literally kill a company.
I know. But just in case.
So MySims Agents did have a sequel that was in development, and it got canceled at some point in time. I don't have a reason here listed for why it was canceled, but before I go through that, firstly, I do want to just be like why I think MySims Agents is such a good game, like especially for kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just because it's good at mystery. It is intriguing. You do, like, when you are playing it for the first time, it is like, oh, where is it gonna go next? I wonder what's gonna happen next. Because it's kind of difficult to tell because it's throwing fucking curveballs at you the whole time.
Talk to the giant squid. This is a normal situation.
This is a normal situation. You couldn't really predict. But also, like, these things do all make sense in context, right?
Mm-hmm.
You learn about the shipwreck before you talk to the giant squid, and when you do talk to the giant squid, you're like, hey, so do you know about anything in the deep ocean? And it's like, well, there's been this thing disturbing my rest recently. Some kind of weird metal creature comes out of the cove over there and fucks around while I'm asleep. It's really annoying. And it's like, oh, great, okay, we've got to get into the cove over there to check stuff out. That's where you find the submarine, and then, like, you steal data from the submarine to figure out where it's going, to know where the shipwreck is, and then you send Tobor down there. It's like a whole deal. It's like there is a train there that does make sense in the context of the game.
Yeah. The second you take it out of the context, however.
No, it's absolutely absurd.
The fuck you mean it looks like a Yeti broke the hot tub?
It's because of the fire in the drain.
To the drain. Couldn't have been a bear. Has to be a Yeti.
There's no polar bears in the mountains. There aren't actually.
There aren't.
No,
Maybe a mountain.
There is the elusive Sasquatch.
And not a Yeti.
Not a Yeti. Could have been
legally distinct, you know?
legally distinct. Could have been a mountain lion, maybe.
Maybe.
Those do exist.
It does all make sense within the context of the thing, but the mystery I think is still intriguing enough because it's like, at first it's like, okay, what the fuck is the Nightmare Crown? And then it's like, all right, so we know what it is and what it does, but like, where is it now? Because if Morcubus is after it, then shit, we've got to get it first.
Yeah. From what you've said, which is my only reference so far, I like that the mystery is more rooted in like what you're currently doing rather than who's behind this, because I think the guy with the devil hair is pretty fucking obvious. I wonder who the bad guy is.
Each area has its own little sub mystery, and then it contributes a little to the big mystery. So it's like, who is Shirley's admirer, and who stole Gino's maps, and who robbed Evelyn's apartment, is all connected to like the beginning of it, which leads you to the mountain, which is where you meet Paul as a Yeti, and like the mini mystery there is like, okay, well, who did anyone kidnap Preston, and if so, who, and or like, where is Preston? Why is he missing? And then on day 2, when he shows up, it's like, okay, great. So how do we prove Paul's innocence? Because we know he didn't do this. We saw him yesterday, and Preston was not like held captive by the Yeti in his fucking cave. So where? It's like, what the fuck's going on? And it's like, then Paul tells you that he worked for Morcu Corp along with Evelyn's dad and Dr. F, and they were making a thing called the Nightmare Crown, and the Nightmare Crown can do all kinds of weird fucked up shit, and it turned him into a Yeti, and it's like, cool, great. So let's go talk to Dr. F for more details, because Paul's like, I wish I could tell you more, but when I got turned into a Yeti, my memory got scrambled, so like I can't really recall many details. So you go to Dr. F, and he tells you more things, and he tells you about the dead guy, the guy who died recently. You had like with the crystal of, I forget what they call the crystal. I'm just gonna call it potentium because that sounds like they would do that.
The dream shard.
The dream shard. Then you go there, and then the mystery is, okay, well, who broke it? And then you find out it's Carl. Then after you find out it's Carl, you can like analyze the shards more and figure out, hey, this doesn't have the same like chemical makeup as like the actual thing does. Like, this is a fake. This is just glass. It's like, okay, so that was the thing Carl broke isn't the crystal. And also, Carl was hypnotized into breaking that thing anyway. And also, Madame Zoe has the crystal because she wants the money.
The money.
It's like, it all contributes to the larger plot as well. I think, yeah, I do like that it's not who is behind this, but rather what is happening.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on?
I do think that like who is behind it mysteries, I think they best work as the classic whodunit, who did the murder. Because you get like a list of suspects, you put motives together, but it's like, no, that's not what this is. I mean, the thing with the will is kind of like a whodunit. That's the closest you get to a whodunit in this game.
And it was the butler.
And it was the butler, yes. They do make that joke.
That is a trope.
You're right!
We did it!
We're what, 20 episodes into this podcast? We finally talked about trope?
Man, we should do this
We
more
did
often.
Great. We can end the podcast now.
We can
No.
finally die.
No, I don't wanna.
We can do that whenever we want now because we finally talked about a trope.
Good, so never.
So never. We'll be dead, and you'll fucking pull our spirits in from the beyond realm. Because yes, Peter and I will die before you.
Yeah, and then you're gonna say, "All right, it's time. It's time to talk about, I don't know, fucking TMNT or some shit."
It's time to talk about Avengers 57. How is this still going? Why is it still going?
That's the official title of it as well.
Yeah, Avengers 57.
Yeah, and I do think it is. I do think it is an intriguing mystery game, especially for children. I think it works really well. Like I said, if you're a very puzzle adept kid, or if you're an adult, you'd probably be like a few steps ahead and run into some frustration. But overall, I think it's pretty good. And some of the puzzles that you do, some of the like mini game puzzles that you do, I think are still like vaguely challenging. They took me like 5 minutes as opposed to knowing them instantly. And when I replayed it recently, they took me way longer as a kid.
You as a child, just hands on head. I don't understand.
I don't understand.
It's not adding up. I don't understand. And then you as an adult, you're like, how did I not get this? You just put the square in the square hole. I don't understand. How do I not understand this?
And there was a proposed sequel that I think sounds really interesting in 2023.
2023.
One of 2023, very recently. One of the people who worked on the proposed sequel. So there's a bunch of tweets by someone who worked on some of it, and they found a bunch of their old notes, and they teased way back in 2015 that they might try to dig up their old story outline for the canceled MySims Agents 2, and they got called out on it back in 2023. I was saying like, hey, you said you might do this. Are you actually going to do that? And they're like, oh yeah, I guess I can. And they pulled up their old story outline. So yeah, they're apparently designing like a grappling hook mechanic in it, and they're going to reuse Dragomir and Svetlana. Those are two characters that appear earlier in the MySims games. I think Dragomir and Svetlana, they're from Kingdom. I think they're like the bad guys of Kingdom. Although I wouldn't know. Again, did not finish it. And it's the outline here sounds really cool. It says you drop right into the action, infiltrating Skip Rogers, the mayor Skip Rogers from the last game who was in Morcubus's pockets, infiltrating his coastal mansion to search for evidence of his corruption. And the guy who recruits you in the first game, Agent Walker, provides support over the radio. And when you get back, you run into the new director of the SPA, Director Morgan, who is changing the way that the agency operates, and Walker doesn't seem to like it. And Walker wants you to investigate a series of weird shit going on all over the world, but Director Morgan thinks it's a wild goose chase and wants you to focus on real crime, like the Skip Rogers case. So at first, it seems like a very cut and dry thing between like Walker's like hands-on experience with the job and knowing that this weird shit tends to lead to like deep crimes somewhere. Whereas Director Morgan is like, yeah, but like there's also other real crime that we already know about that we can also focus on.
If you help this lady with the flower shop, you could find the secret documents that the director's over here like, or you could solve the murder. That's right fucking there.
No, that's dumb.
No. Can investigate the bank robbery.
No.
No.
See, I got this invitation from the girl at the flower shop, and it takes me to this guy who died recently. He had this weird magic crystal. Agent, what the fuck are you talking about?
See, you got this new anime plot.
You got this new anime plot.
Basically, there's this new SPA director with huge boobs. I mean,
some serious honkers. Real set of binoculars. Back in some no-mon honkeros. Massive Dahunga Bengaloos. Big old town Hanaraku. What happens next? Transfer director shows up with even bigger Bananagoos. Humongous Hongalongas.
I thought if it was good.
After you take Walker's mission, you go to an abandoned carnival and re-establish contact with an undercover agent. You discover the strange events that Walker described are related to each other, and they give off a strange energy signature that you can't identify. You also catch a glimpse of some guy. It's Dragomir. Who is he? He could be dangerous. You go back to HQ, but something is wrong. All your equipment has been boxed up, and your lab tech and secretary are locked out of the building. And then Director Morgan shows up and is like, "Yeah, you're all fired."
Bro.
I know I did not tell you this before you returned to the agency.
What did I do? You were in a flower shop.
Instead of focusing on the murder. Yeah, but the murder is like for normal detectives. I'm a special agent. I do special things.
You sure are putting the special in special agent.
You ever wonder why some people in the office call you Ed?
Oh. Jeez.
Just the defeat. And then the game ends.
This fucking character didn't even get to exist, and you've already made me hate her.
Oh no.
Well, Walker shows up, and he's like, "Yeah, like most of the SPA is being like actively shut down for some reason. It's crazy. I don't know what the hell Morgan is doing." And he's like, you keep investigating the stuff I told you to investigate. I'm gonna snoop around SPA and try to Central Command and try to figure out what's going on. And he thinks that Morgan's two advisors, who almost never leave her side, might be influencing her decisions.
Mm-hmm.
He gives you a new detector to try and track the strange energy signature. Your stuff gets upgraded over the course of the first game, right? Where like you start with like a crowbar and a magnifying glass and a yeah, you do have a third thing. I forget what it is. A wrench. And those things over time get upgraded into like more high tech shit.
Nice.
So you get like a it's called the F space manipulator. To replace your crowbar, it can move objects around and things. To replace your wrench, you get the techno tool. And eventually, to replace their magnifier glass, you get the detector.
The detector.
And you can use the new detector that you would get in the sequel that doesn't exist to track the strange energy signature, and you track down some weirdness surrounding the castle ruins over in the old country. Things are starting to get serious. People are acting strangely. Animals are turning on their masters. Some people are disappearing. And your adventures in the old country reveal that the evil Svetlana seems to be related to your case. She gives off a strong energy reading on your detector. Is she the one causing the strange behavior? Is she related to Dragomir? And then Walker goes missing. You go to meet Walker in the usual location, but he doesn't show up. You find signs of a struggle, and it leads you to a humble-looking building at the edge of the city. And you find a message from Walker saying that they've already gotten to him. The SPA can no longer be trusted. This building's location is secret. It's going to be your new HQ.
I bought you a house.
I bought you a house. I know you also went homeless when the SPA got closed down.
I want you. This will be your new streamer house.
Go, my child. Become the biggest Fortnite streamer in all the land.
The building actually goes underground several floors, and you can set it up as a new HQ. And you begin building an underground SPA to combat the now corrupt real SPA. With your new team, you take on a series of cases all over the globe, looking for trace evidence, wearing disguises, swinging from one precarious ledge to the next with a grappling hook. You continue to track down the source of the strange behavior, and you learn that the strange energy affecting everyone is seeping through portals from the Nightmare Realm.
Oh,
and that
no.
Dragomir and Svetlana are agents of the Nightmare Realm, and they have the power to control people's minds, and that they're probably the advisors that are controlling Director Morgan. Dragomir and Svetlana seem to be preparing our world for their master from the Nightmare Realm, and with Morgan in their pocket, the SPA can do nothing to stop them. And you're one step away from putting the whole picture together, but you get attacked from behind and knocked out. You wake up in a holding cell in the main office of the SPA and are shocked to find Morcubus in the cell with you.
Morcubus!
The two of you have to work together to escape the SPA and confront Dragomir and Svetlana on the MorcuCorp space platform.
Oh my god.
On the space platform, you have to stop Dragomir, Svetlana, and Morgan from using MorcuCorp's experimental energy amplifier to spread their dark power over the entire world. You shut down the amplifier before you can stop them completely. You're shoved through a portal into the Nightmare Realm.
No.
A bunch of stuff goes crazy. It's stitched together randomly from all the places in Agents 2 and Agents 1. You encounter nightmare versions of the MySims characters as they make fun of you. You eventually find Agent Walker, who is real and has been banished to the Nightmare Realm this whole time, and you hatch a plan to make a portal back. You manage to open it, but before you can escape, Morgan blocks you and reveals that she is the master of the Nightmare Realm and has been controlling Dragomir and Svetlana the whole time, and not the other way around.
I'm the advisor. It was me.
I'm the advisor to myself. You take on Morgan on her home turf and manage to get back to the real world and close off the Nightmare Realm forever. Walker thanks you for saving the world, and it looks like the SPA is going to need a new director who can rebuild things after the damage Morgan did. Of course, since that's what you've been doing all along, Walker nominates you to be the new director of the SPA, and then the game would end. But there's no game! There's no game because it was cancelled. Because, and this is my theory, this is just my idea, I don't know if this is confirmed, this is all speculation,
Get the
to be
board
very
out.
clear.
Get the red lines.
Well, this is just my speculation. Knowing that EA was always kind of litigious and did not really like renting out their IPs to people, and knowing that they only got more about that as time went on, I suspect personally that EA got tired of MySims, especially because MySims did not have anywhere near the success of The Sims, and it was like, this side project isn't worth our time or our money anymore, we're going to pull the IP back. Meaning that the project was cancelled, or they themselves cancelled the project because they didn't think it was going to make any money. That's entirely just an idea. I have no evidence. I just fucking hate EA.
It's just
and I think that this sounds like something they would do.
It's just a game theory.
Yeah, it is just a game theory.
Yeah.
Anyway, next episode is going to be us resurrecting MatPat.
He's dead?
He's from retirement?
Yeah, the resurrection from retirement, the true death.
Okay. I don't know about that.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Anyway, is that the episode?
Is that, can you think of anything else? Because I can't add anything to that.
I know.
Yeah, all I can do is make funny jokes.
And we have.
This could have been such a good sequel because the themes of the first game are all about like corruption. Basically, you meet a bunch of people who wield power and find out that most of them are corrupt. But you can trust your own agency. And in the second game, you can't even do that. And the theme continues, and it just sounds like it would have been such a good sequel. And I was always disappointed as a kid that there wasn't a sequel to MySims Agents. Because this is because I didn't know that if you finished all of the side missions, that you did get a resolve to the cliffhanger of Evelyn being in the fucking nightmare realm. I did not know that happened if you finished all the side missions. I just assumed it was a cliffhanger because sometimes that happens. But still, a sequel to the game would have gone hard as fuck, especially if it had a grappling hook. I think everything is improved by a grappling hook. Almost everything is improved by a grappling hook.
Okay. You say almost. I want you to tell me what example does not improve with a grappling hook. Like, do you have an example of this?
A game where like difficulty navigating is the entire point. Like I Am Bread.
Fair.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah,
getting
fair.
over it, stuff like that.
Yeah. But you know what game it did improve? Halo. Anyway.
You're right. That grappling hook is fucking baller. You know what will benefit from a grappling hook? Hollow Knight Silksong. When it eventually comes out.
It will come out.
You know what does currently benefit from a grappling hook? 9 Souls.
That is true. Are we gonna do an episode on 9 Souls?
I think I did write 9 Souls down. I'm pretty sure.
So I can check right now. But
that means I have to finish it before we do that episode. And you know how that makes me feel.
It doesn't mean you don't have to finish 9 Souls before I jab.
No, I have to. If I'm part way through a game when we do a fucking episode on it, that's my fault.
We can just delay until you finish 9 Souls eventually.
That's what I had.
We have an ever-increasing list of topics.
Yeah, we have other things we can do before we talk about 9 Souls.
Yeah.
I do have a soft timer now, though.
Such as lists all of our topics.
I think MySims Agents was such a good little mystery game for children, and I think the sequel would have been maybe not a better little mystery game for kids, but at least on par with the first one. And like that would have just been good. It would have been good to have, especially because like as the 2010s progressed, children's media just got worse.
Yeah.
You skibbity toilet.
I don't think Skibbity Toilet is any worse than like the brain rot shit that's always been on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not.
No, it
is the easiest target though, so I'm gonna exploit that.
Fair enough. Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, my opinions are this was a great game. You should play it if you can, in any way that you possibly can. Hey, I do have a physical copy of the game. Just because I don't have a Wii anymore, because my brother took it when he moved out. I do still have a physical copy of the game, so emulating it wasn't illegal when I did that.
Fair enough.
But
funny thing is, actually, emulation is still illegal even if you own a physical copy of the game and the console to play the game on.
Oh.
But it doesn't really matter because piracy is completely immoral anyway.
Yeah. If EA is the reason the sequel didn't happen, fuck them. And even if they're not the reason the sequel didn't happen, fuck them anyway for all the other shit they've done.
Official view of the podcast. Fuck EA.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right.
Oh, and grappling hooks are cool as hell.
Good. Good points here. Good points here.
That's the pain I feel when I remember that there could have been a sequel to this game.